Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Season 14, Episode 13, Overall 728 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership. They are located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Automall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all electric vehicles, or EVs they call them, and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969, and they're known as the regional dealer here in Guelph. I hope everyone's doing well on this Thursday, June 25th, 2026, 4 days to my 54th birthday. A little plug out there as well. And I hope everyone is doing well today. I can't believe it's already Thursday, June 25th, 2026. This is my fourth show in 4 nights, and I'm looking forward to my guests tonight. And I'm going to bring them on shortly. My first guest was back on my show in September 2025. Her name is Jay Parker. She is a sports agent of J. Parker Sports Agent Management, and she is going to come on right now, and we've got a couple of special other guests coming on as well. So we're going to bring on Jay Parker right now, and hopefully a couple more guests in another minute or two. So let's bring on Jay Parker. Good evening, Jay. How are you?
Good evening. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm not too bad. I'm keeping busy these days. But I love it. When you love what you're doing, it's not really work.
I know, right? I had that same feeling, right? Very, very same feeling. Exactly. I love what I do.
And I already have somebody watching from St. Louis, Missouri. A friend of mine, I met him in Toronto. He loves the Canadian Football League, and he lives in St. Louis. His name's George Brown. He's watching on YouTube. Says, "Good evening, Chris. Looking forward to a good show." George, thank you so much, and feel free. Jay is a sports agent or a basketball agent, so please feel free to ask your questions. And we've got a couple other guests coming on too, so I'm going to bring on one of them right now, and I'm excited to have her on. And thank you, Jay, for arranging her guests. And this is Sydney Bolden. She's a 5'9" guard out of Georgetown, and she's a recent graduate out of Indiana University. And we're going to give her a little applause as we bring her on. Good evening, Sydney.
Hi, Sydney. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Doing good. How are you, Sydney? And thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good. 5'9". I remember the days I was 5'9". This is what happens when you get old.
Right.
It's already too late for me. And I've got another guest coming on, and we're going to bring her on right now. And this is we got her right now, Ericka Pratt. She is a 5'10" swingman, both guard and forward from Miami, Florida on. So we're going to bring her on too, Ericka Pratt. And we're going to give her a little love.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing good, and this technology is amazing. I'm in Toronto, Jay is in Vegas, and I think, Ericka, you are in Brooklyn, New York, and Sydney, where are you right now currently?
I'm currently in Indiana.
Indiana, wow. The home of Larry Bird. The home of Bobby Knight in Indiana basketball.
Yep.
Miss Larry Bird, right?
French Lick, Indiana. French Lick, Indiana he's from. Mm-hmm. Sydney, since you're from Indiana, and Indiana is known as a basketball state, what are your thoughts on Indiana winning the National Football Championship in college football this year?
Well, originally I'm from Georgia, so I came out here for school. Did all 4 of my years in Indiana. I didn't realize how big of sports of a state it was till I got here and I seen all the love they show the Pacers and just basketball as a whole is such a big thing here. So when IU Bloom won the football series, it was just everybody was going crazy in all parts of Indiana. So it was definitely a lot of love that you felt out here, and it was really nice to be a part of a community like that.
By the way, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and a lot of our players are Georgia Bulldogs. And
Mhm.
my radio show used to be on an air in Georgia, in Noonan, Georgia. It was on there for 2 years.
Nice.
Yes. Now, Erica, or Sydney and
Yes.
Erica. I got you mixed up there. Sorry. I'm going to let Jay speak. Jay, I want to say thank you so much for arranging this show tonight with her guests, and just some quick thoughts, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for both of my players actually. That's on here now. I mean, I'm both their agents, so they're both getting ready to go overseas, and this actually is going to be a really good show. I'm dying for them to, answer some questions that you might have. I mean, I'm ready for the interaction, questions for you, questions for me, questions for, just everybody that's on the show right now. So, I want us to really engage into this women's sports. So yeah.
Hey, I was born in 1972, so I'm an older guy, but women's sports have come such a long ways. Not just women in media and broadcasting, but in sports now with the WNBA, the Women's Professional Hockey League, and also now the Women's Professional Baseball League. And the WNBA with expanding might give you guys more of an opportunity too. Are both of you guys still have dreams or interested in getting into the WNBA at some point?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's always the high point. Just being able to compete at the highest level. For sure.
So, anyways, who would like to go first? Who would like to start out first and tell our audience a little bit about themselves?
I like to go first. I don't mind.
Sydney, Sydney, if you want to go ahead.
No, that was me. I think
And
or
actually,
Sydney.
that was Erica.
Erica, sorry. Hey, veteran people make mistakes. So, Erica, if you want to go first and just tell our audience here a little bit about yourself. I'm based in the Toronto area too. And basketball is huge here in Canada, especially women's basketball now too.
Okay, so just a little bit about me. I'm originally from Miami, Florida. Um, I've been playing basketball since I was 7 years old. I love the game so much. I actually started playing because my cousin is in was in the WNBA. She currently retired. Her name is Sylvia Fowles. She used to play for Chicago Sky and the Minnesota Lynx. But um, I moved to New York last year, and I actually like it out here. The basketball scene out here is pretty dope. They have a lot of events and a lot of opportunities where you could get exposure and just showcase your game and just have fun, to be honest. And yeah.
How much of
Um,
an impact did Sylvia have on your basketball career?
when I was a kid, she actually had like a big impact on my basketball career because she had her own AAU team, as you may know, Team Fouls or the Suns. And I played on her team for only about, I'll say like a week. It's a funny story. Cause I don't know, people just like her being my cousin, they just thought I got it easy. Like, and that's not even the case. Like, she didn't give me anything. I had to try out just like everybody else. I had to do everything everybody else did. But I ended up leaving the team and I went to team breakdown. But she told me to just like don't let it go to my head or whatever. Just keep working, praying, grinding, and repeating that same process. And that's what I've been doing ever since. So she kind of
My
inspired me in that moment.
mindset too. I had actually, I'm going to tell this to Jay too. I had a mental performance coach on my show the other day from Maryland, and she works with athletes of all kinds, coaches and leaders and stuff, and how much athletes really use mental performance coaches as well, because there's a physical part to the sport, as you ladies know, but there's also a mental side of it as well. Have you ever used a mental performance coach before so far in your career?
Yes, I actually have. When I was dealing with the death of my father in 2023, I had to use a counselor slash like therapist, but she was also our trainer for the basketball team. So I don't know if that like correlates into it, but I had to use her along like my last season of college because I was struggling with depression. I was stressed just with school and dealing with the loss of my dad. But yeah.
Erica, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for the loss of your dad. And I lost my dad when I was only 13. I was very young when my dad
Oh,
passed away. So I'm really sorry. And it doesn't matter what age they are. It's very difficult. And again, my deepest sympathies and condolences to you and your
same
family.
here. Same here. I'm sorry about
Yeah,
that.
my condolences definitely to you. I definitely know how that
Thank
feels
you.
because I lost my mother very young, so I can definitely relate. Yeah, most definitely.
Thank you so much.
Sydney, would you like to tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you got into the game of basketball?
Yes, so as I said before, I'm originally from Georgia. I kind of grew up, well, I am the youngest sibling, so I kind of struggled getting into what I wanted to do at first. My older sister was a dancer, so I followed behind her for a little while. And then I noticed that my older brother was started playing basketball, and I really enjoyed watching him and going to the games. So when I started going to the games, that's when I started saying, hey, I might like this type of thing. I started very young, around in fourth to third grade. And from there, I just kind of took off with that career. I then was kind of late in the game with college basketball with COVID happening. So a lot of my offers and talking with the coaches kind of fell down, but I was able to get an offer from Ball State. And I spent my first 3 years there and then didn't get as much as I wanted out of that experience. So I decided to transfer my last year and go to IUI, also known as IUPUI, but they just changed the name. So I was able to gather more of a college experience here, and yeah.
I wanted to mention as well, Sydney. I interviewed a professional football player yesterday here in Canada for the Canadian Football League. His name is Alex, and he went to school at Ball State as well.
Oh, that's crazy. What a small
Small
world.
world. It really is a small
Very
world.
small world.
This technology is really shrinking the world, isn't it?
It is.
It
So,
really is.
by the way, I have some comments here right now. I've got a viewer watching from St. Louis, Missouri. He is a friend of mine, and I met him in Toronto last year on the train. His name's George Brown. He wants to say, I believe the WNBA expansion is going to create more opportunities for your guests. And he also wants to say, sending prayers to you as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Can I get your opinions, ladies, on the WNBA and how much of an impact it's made on the female generation, the younger and ones that are in their 20s and 30s now, and with expansion too, that's going to create more opportunities.
I think it's awesome. Honestly, it's giving. I feel like it's gonna give the younger generations like more confidence and just thinking. I mean, knowing or hoping that they'll get an opportunity somewhere because there's more opportunities now available because it wasn't at first. But
Yes, I
I
can
think it's
agree with
good.
her on that. I think it's good that people are noticing. We always been competitive. We always been hard workers, and it's just great seeing that people that I've known in the WNBA now getting the chance that many little girls didn't believe that they would be able to get. So it's just awesome seeing the growth that it's had became just in the quickest amount of like 2 to 3 years.
Hmm.
Erica and Sydney, how did you guys end up meeting and signing with Jay Parker, Agent Parker, as she's known?
Agent Parker. Yes.
Oh, I don't know if you want to go first, Sydney.
Yeah, I can go first. I kind of met her through like just like having connections, whatever. I had a coach at Ball State introduced me to someone who knew her, and we just kind of connected through that way.
Mine is kind of the same way. A good friend of mine who's overseas right now, Lewis Sullivan. Um, he had a contact that knew Agent Parker, and I got in contact with her through him, and it went
Well,
on from there.
it's really funny. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete or you're in any other career. Connections in networking are huge, and I'm sure Jay can say that too. Mention that as well. Connections in networking.
Yeah, I mean, networking is the big key in the sports world, actually. I mean, that's how sports agent, coaches, GMs, and everyone actually come together. These two ladies, I'm super excited to be their agents and actually allowing them to get ready to play overseas very soon and make their basketball careers happen. Actually, this is what I do. This is, the job I've loved, and like you said, once you love and have the passion for it, it's not work. It's fun, So
Jay, I know you were on my show last September, but can you just tell our audience a little bit about yourself again and what your role is as of Jay Parker Sports Agency Management, and how do you go about finding clients, and what are some of the things you look for in a potential client?
So my whole role is a little bit about myself. I always love the game of basketball. I always have the passion. Basketball has been my outlet since I was 17 years old. After my mother passed, I'm like you, Erica. I lost a parent, so I know how it feels. Definitely, I can relate. Basketball just like took off after that. I just stayed on the court constantly, working out, putting up shots. Went to Roosevelt University, got my undergrad degree in criminal justice, then went to ISU, got my master's in sports management, which I'm super excited about. And then before I went to get my master's degree, I was a coach. I coached for a long time, actually, a total of like 6 years or something like that. So I coached from grammar school, jumped from grammar school to high school for 3 years, jumped from high school to college, JUCO, Division II and III, and then I became I worked for someone for a sports agency, and then I decided to step out on faith, and that's the biggest thing, just stepping out on faith and letting God lead you and order your footsteps. Actually, that's how I usually how it works. You pray to him, you throw it out there, tell him what you want, and then he may not answer it right then and there, but eventually he's going to answer your prayers, what you ask him. And you got to be able to take a leap of faith and just go with it. Um, Being an agent, I mean, it is really exciting. I love what I do. And what was that last question? I'm sorry.
What kind of qualifications, like what do you look for a client, for a
So,
potential
what I
client?
really look for in a client, most of my clients, I looked for is listening. Being able to be coachable, accountability, communication with me at all times. As an agent, I do get super busy, so I can't get to all of my clients at all the time. But and they all know that. Sometimes and I let them know. I can't just, I'm not going to be able to babysit you. No, you know what I'm saying? I got too many clients, but I do look for loyalty and integrity. You know what I mean? That's the huge thing for me. If you have integrity and you have loyalty, then we both can, gel with one each other. If not, then because overseas, coaches and GMs, they don't really care where you come from as long as you coachable. And that's the biggest thing that they look for besides looking at your film. Can you actually read the plays that they play out for a player? And I know that. So a lot of times that's what I try to tell my clients: do your homework, do your research on any country I send you to, because you're the one that's over there. And the biggest thing is to listen. You know what I'm saying? You have to listen to the coaches. It don't matter. Sometimes coaches over there can be, buttholes. They can. but you are the player and you're getting paid for what you do. So that's the biggest thing. I feel like if any of my clients can't listen to me, then I don't take them on as a client. And they got to be, responsible for their own actions. So
Commun-
again,
communication is huge.
communication is a big thing. It's a
Huge.
huge key in this era now. So that's the only way that's going to get you a little bit further than you think is communicating. Yep.
Eric, I wanted to ask you this. Are you looking forward to playing professional basketball overseas?
Yes, yes, I am. I've just came back from overseas from El Salvador this past May.
What was that experience like?
It was pretty nice. It was really hot.
Hot and
But
humid?
other than that, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And we had to walk a lot, so it made it worse. But I
How
loved
much
it.
how
I'm
much did
sorry.
that experience help you evolve and improve your game a bit?
Um, it helped me improve because this is my first that was my first country, so this is my rookie year. So I feel like just stepping out into the environment, it was just another day in the office, to be honest. I mean, basketball is basketball. So wherever I go, I'm gonna compete. I'm gonna play to win, and yeah, I just
For our audience, Erica and Sydney, can you just one of you guys tell them what a swingman is? The term swingman is in basketball for some of our audience who might not know that.
um, I've never really even heard that term until recently. I usually hear like wing or 3, 4, 2, but I never heard of swing man. But from my knowledge, I believe it's like a versatile guard who can go either inside or out. I don't know. I think.
Sydney?
I never heard that term before, so I'm learning something just as new right now. So it's good
I
to
guess I
know.
know that. I guess I kind of knew that term because I'm an old guy. I'm in my 50s, but it's someone I guess who can be guard and forward. And I wanted to ask you this: how important is it as an athlete and a basketball player to be versatile? Because that can really add add to the team and also getting you more opportunities.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
so
think it's real
I can
important. Oh, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, so sorry. Yeah, I think it's very important as well. Just being able to, I mean, you're always not going to be the best in certain roles, but just being able to work towards that. But it can definitely develop more opportunities as long as more you go further in your career, because a lot of people want to see that. A lot of people, it's rare to have players who are able to do everything.
Mhm.
Now, I wanted to ask you, ladies, too, your perspective in women's basketball. How much does size matter? Like, I know you want to use 5'9", the other one's 5'10", but is there still roles for women that are a little bit smaller in the game of basketball, or has it become like a big women's game now? Still,
Um, I mean, I don't think size matters sometimes. Cause me growing up, it was always heart over height. So even if I was shorter than someone, I'll still find a way to score or to play great defense or to, I feel like size really doesn't matter.
Sydney.
Yeah, I can agree to that as well. I don't think size matters. I feel like when you get to the higher level you go, you just readjust to how you play and how you want to score or what your role on it, whatever your role on the team is. I feel like you just do great at that.
Mhm.
I'm going to put you guys on the spots here, and even Jay. Out of all the positions in basketball, which one is the most difficult to learn and get your craft in?
I believe the PG spot because I feel like you have to see the floor, you have to create for others. You're basically the leader on the floor. Without a PG, it's kind of hard to function. I believe so. Everyone has their role, but I feel like the PG is the role that really brings everybody together and makes it a team.
I can agree with Sydney. Me being a point guard when I played in high school and college is definitely you have to get the team engaged, right? Controlling the floor, making sure your every player is in their position, right? So I mean, I love being a point guard, but it is definitely a key big role for that. You know, you have to, and that's where communication comes in, right? So the point guard actually communicate with the other players and allow them to engage with each other, especially on the floor.
I agree with that too, but I also think another position is like the five and the four. Cause being down there, you gotta be consistently getting rebounds, second chance points, and a whole lot of other stuff. But I feel like that's a really a key position as well.
Are you ladies okay with some questions? I have some questions from Mandog 2026. He's watching on YouTube. He's a friend of mine and he always has some great questions. He wants to say, hello, ladies. Thanks for being here. My question for Sydney and Ericka is with the boom in NBA or WNBA viewerships and attendance increasing every year, how does that evaluate the energy impact your team on the court?
I would say it's just a little bit of motivation. Like you see that more viewerships are coming in. You see that people are paying attention. We're getting the views that we deserved over the past couple of years. We've been needing that, but it's great to see. It's just a little bit of motivation for me and my teammates.
Yeah, I agree. We do need and we are receiving now the recognition that we deserve. So I feel like it's great.
This question is for Jay. Jay, do you feel that the women athletes are getting compensated enough, or you think you guys are still way paid too low?
Right now, I think we're still getting paid way too low. Right now, I think we are waiting for more money, and I believe that women right now deserve more money in sports, right? Because again, the men is always getting higher salaries, so I do believe, and women deserve that they should get higher salaries because they put in the work. You know, I mean, they put in the work just like the men do, and it's the ticket sales. You know, it's all about the ticket sales and how many seats they can fill, and I think that's the biggest thing right now. But with it being 50 games next year, those sales is going to go up, and I think the ladies should get more money by come right before the Olympics or between 2029 or 2030. So yeah, they definitely deserve more money always.
Jay, you know with the NBA you have the G League. Does the WNBA have a feeder league for
They
the
do not.
WNBA? They do
Um,
not. I did not know
they
that.
they do not have that. No, they only have a G League for the men, which is sad. But I think eventually it could because the WNBA season is so short. It starts in May, end in October. Then you flip. Here comes the overseas basketball league, then the NBA. So it will be hard to fit that in somewhere because there's only a certain amount of time that they can play, right? Before the NBA. So that's the biggest thing. But they should. I totally agree with that. They really should. So yeah.
Erica and Sydney, how do you feel about having a female women's G League?
Oh, that would be dope. I mean, they should have been doing that, but you know, but yeah, I feel like that would be dope. We need a G League and we need a alternative league for us to go to when we're not in the W. I feel like.
I agree to that as well. It's kind of sad that we don't have one, but we're growing, and that's more than what we could ask for. We're getting the recognition, not as fast as we want, but it may be something that they put in the future.
Yeah.
Mandog 2026, who's watching on YouTube again, he has another question for you guys and for you ladies, and this is a really good question. How has the physical intensity and the speed of women's basketball changed over the years from your perspectives, all including you, Jay?
I feel like the overseas seen with the physicality and intensity has changed drastically. Like when I went out there, it was very like soft. They called, I don't know, we were barely even touching girls and we were getting called for fouls. It was like every second. It just made the game kind of like boring. Like just let us play a little bit. Like they have sometimes where they'll let us play and it'll be a little physical, but for the most part, I feel like it went down a little bit, like with the physicality and intensity.
I can agree to that, even though I haven't been overseas yet. I think in college basketball as well, like they just kind of don't let us play anymore. Like I feel like there's times where it's like, okay, you have to be fair because you just made a call like that. But overall, I do feel like the physicality is just kind of went downhill. As far as the speed, I feel like we've always been. Well, I know I've always been on a fast-paced team, so we're constantly playing fast, or it increases at every level, I believe. But physicality, yeah, I will agree with that.
What are your overall thoughts on the officiating in the women's game? Do you think it's adequate, or do you think it still needs to get better, higher standard?
I think it needs to improve a lot. Um, they don't let us express our emotions enough. Like for the guy, I don't know. I can't speak on the guys because I don't really, but I feel like they don't really let us express our emotions. I mean, basketball is a very competitive sport, and a lot of people love to, like scream after and one or flex or do anything they want to do after they score, something like that. But nowadays, the refs feel like it's taunting or it's just too much for the game of basketball. But I feel like it's a part of the game. That's the fun of the game, to be honest. And they taking away the fun of the game.
Sydney?
Yeah, I agree to that. I do feel like it needs to change. I feel like it's still like a mixed gender type of thing. Like on the men's side, they could do all the trash talking, be really physical, bump each other, and then when it comes to like, of course, women are more emotional, and I feel like they kind of take advantage of that. They kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of weird how they just let men do their thing, and then they come on the women's side and they're so strict with it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think only because the emotional part, and I can kind of agree with that because if you saw the game with Caitlin Clark, I don't know if you saw the highlights that Alyssa Thomas got suspended for hitting Caitlin Clark in the throat or something like that, but she got suspended and then something else happened to her. So I think that's the crazy part. But yeah, it's very strict in the WNBA. They do not become lenient with the women, but they should. I mean, but with the men, I mean, they probably would have did the same thing too. Because I know when I was watching one of the NBA games with the Warriors, your boy Green choked the heck out of another player and he got suspended. So he
Oh
got a
yeah.
fine too. So I mean, the rules do apply. It depends on, the situation. So every situation is different. So
Hmm.
Mandog has another good question for you guys. He's watching on YouTube. He wants to ask you, ladies, how do you balance recovery with staying game ready during the shorter WNBA or your seasons? I think he thinks you're playing the WNBA, but just how would you handle this question? Just how would you balance recovery with staying game ready?
I start off by just stretching, like before and after playing or whatever, or practicing, working out. Before I go to bed, I stretch, and then if I'm hurting or anything sore, I just ice and try to do a little bit of ice and heat on and off, and just to keep myself feeling like fresh.
Yeah, I can agree to that. Consistent with stretching after and before a workout, and even before you go to bed is really what helps me a lot. And also just taking advantage of the resources I do have. Like any trainers that I know, I get in with them, take an ice bath, get cupped, just trying to use all the resources that I do have access to.
I think ice baths are important for every athlete.
Yes.
Especially when they're going hard into a game. College pro overseas, ice bath is really, really important for recovery for your body, especially, on the women's side of aspect. If you look at LeBron James or anything like that, that's why his body is the way it is. He really puts a lot of, one, money in his body. I mean, kind of recovery and stuff like that, but he really takes care of his body. And if more athletes did that, then they usually will stay pro and in the game a little bit longer. So that's so important. Stretching, ice baths, even mentally, we talk about, mental illness is really serious in basketball, in the world of sports, how you deal with, games when you don't win and stuff like that. So a lot of times that's not really talked about, and it should be a little bit more.
Sports psychologist.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Yes.
One thing I wanted to ask you ladies about as well. I've had a yoga instructor on my show recently, and I talked to a number of pro athletes. As you know, I do freelance media work for a number of professional sports teams, and I've talked to some football players too, and they use yoga. Do you guys ever use yoga for your exercise and stuff too?
Yeah, I used to back when I was in college. We had like yoga classes and stuff like that, but I try to implement it now, like today, but mainly I do meditation. I mean, I think that's a form of yoga, but
Yes, it is.
meditation.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Like like implemented into like my college career, doing like college yoga days where we're just be in the gym and do yoga as a team. But as far as now, I don't get into yoga as much. I do want to get back into it, something that I would look into. But as of right now, I haven't been using that.
And
I've took a couple of yoga classes myself, but I agree with Erica as far as meditation. Meditation is definitely, the key thing to kind of keep your mind focused a little bit more. So, yoga is more of a flexibility, for your muscles and stuff like that. As you do get older, you do need to stretch more, actually. So, yeah.
that goes for me too, by the way. And by the way, just to let you guys know, I'm doing a 40-yard run in July to
Oh,
raise
wow.
money for our local humane society. So I'm gonna have the old guy's gonna run 40 yards in less than 13 seconds, and I'm hoping to raise some money for our local humane society as well. And one thing I'm doing next is losing weight, because it's easy to lose weight in my case, but it's hard to maintain it. And that's the word I'm looking is the importance of good nutrition, what you put in your body. It's like your car. I unfortunately take better care of my car than my body right now. So now I'm going to start focusing on my body. And as a professional athlete too, it's important, because if you look after your body, you can maybe probably play longer instead of have a shorter career.
That is so true. I just did a 5K maybe 4 weeks ago, and it was my first one, and it was awesome, actually. So
Congratulations.
thank you. I appreciate it. So, I came in decent time, so I don't like to brag, but yeah, I mean, I train for it constantly, train for it, stretch for it, really, really, the older you get, you definitely have to take care of your body. Recovery is so, so important. And especially from that too, doing a 5K. So, more athletes, I believe, after, they get done playing basketball, that professional basketball is usually golf or running a marathon. Many of my friends has ran a lot of marathons, and I'm just like, that's crazy. I don't know if I want to run another one or not, but I may be in the near future, but I'm good right now.
Hey Jay, I just had a guest on a couple days ago from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Her
Uh-huh.
name's Janique. She's going to run her first 16-kilometer marathon. I think that's like 10 miles. What
Yeah.
advice would you give to her from your experience? Because she's in the process of training for her first ever marathon.
So a lot of everything to do with your diet, eating right, sleeping, getting the rest, recovery, staying in the sauna, make sure you taking ice baths too. That's so important. I mean, rest is always neat for marathons, you know what I mean? Because again, you beat up your body so much. And if you don't get the proper rest, you won't be no good at all for that marathon. So definitely rest and eating the proper nutrition, meals and stuff like that, and drinking a lot of water. So your body is made up 95% of it. So you definitely want to implement a lot of water and stay hydrated is so important. Yes. So yeah, those three things.
Sydney and Erica, for people that are watching our show right now, live stream or on audio, and they're younger and they want to get into the game of basketball, what advice would you give to younger women or younger guys that are looking to get into basketball from your perspective?
Um,
Sorry. I keep cutting you off.
I'll just say to stay confident. Always be a team player. You know, uh, lose the attitudes because I've had I've learned the hard way with having attitudes or just being hard to like not hard to coach, but just when I was younger, I just had a real nasty attitude when the game either like say if you weren't scoring or the game just wasn't going how you wanted it to go, just stay positive, keep your head, keep your cool, and just keep your composure. I feel like that's the best way to go, um, and just stay coachable. Really,
Definitely be coachable. Continue to, yes, have confidence in yourself. And I feel like if you're not having fun, you're not doing something right. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to go through the hard times, but just know it always gets better. Um, and yeah, just keep that confidence and always be coachable.
This question is for all you guys, Jay, Erica, and Sydney. Have you ever had a situation in a game that you shrunk in the spotlight in pressure time or saw a teammate that did?
you shrunk.
Yes, they freeze or they can't handle pressure.
No,
It's
I've
on
never
it's on
had
you
one.
guys right now. I'm still thinking
I've
about that.
I haven't had a moment like that at all. I don't believe, but I think I've witnessed a teammate do it before. It was like one of those times where we were all seniors, but I don't know what clicked in her like that game. We were doing fine that game. It was a big game too, and she was so tired that she just gave up. Like and she was the point guard, so we needed her. Like she was the only one who could come down and run the sets correctly and get us baskets. Like, but she just gave up. Like, and I don't know what happened. I was so mad at her for that. But after that, she never played basketball again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sydney?
I've had a kind of situation like that for my teammate. It was kind of like a wide open layup, but she never really misses layups. She was kind of down on herself, but us being a teammate, if it was meant to be, it would have been. It would have been. We learned from it, just being able to just be there and hold her head up was kind of the most important part. She learned from it. She was already hard on herself. It was like it was hard to see. So, yeah.
George Brown, who's watching from St. Louis, is watching on YouTube. He just wanted to make a comment about it gives players who might have been passed up another opportunity. That's what he was mentioning about the G League, and hopefully one day the WNBA will have a G League as well. But confidence to me is probably just as important as overall talent as well. What do you ladies feel about that? How important confidence and mindset is for a professional athlete?
Confidence is definitely a key. You definitely got to make sure that you have 100% confidence when you walk on the basketball court, and know that you're a good enough player to be there. Because if you don't, then it's going to show, definitely. So I think confidence does play a role big time.
If you guys are ladies are still okay, I would like to play a little clip of Erica's basketball performances, and then we'll do that for
Sure.
Sydney too.
Sure.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And by the way, ladies, I did play high school basketball here back in the late 80s. So I was a point guard and I was on the bench. I was the guy that you call off the bench to hit the 3-point shot. And I wasn't very good, but you know what? I love playing the game of basketball. And if you gave me a basketball today, I would still play pickup basketball. Once you play sports, it's like riding a bicycle. No matter what age, you still love playing it, no matter what.
All right.
Just give me 1 second, and we're going to play a little bit of Ericka Pratt's 2025 season highlights. Just 1 second, and we'll play the clip right now. Ericka, if you'd like to do a little commentary on this, that would be okay too.
Commentary. I'm not that great at that. I'm sorry.
No? No?
Let me think of something to say. Yeah,
How would
no.
you
I can't.
how would you describe yourself as a player?
I
cronómetro.
am
Montero.
I am a
Deja
very
para
versatile
Pratt.
player. Like I like to. At first, they used to try to get me
Intenta
to
la
play
individual.
point guard, but I started getting taller, so I just I didn't really like to be point guard, but once I started
Teras
getting like a little
encuentra
bigger,
Molina. La tapa
then
increíble de Pratt.
then I
Ahora
started
se viene
playing down
Aguachapana.
low,
Tiene el
kind of
espacio.
getting the
Encontrar a
mismatches,
Escobar.
and I
Contra el
added that
tabla.
play
Nota.
into my game. So I'll describe my game as like a very versatile guard. Forward. I also
How big is the
like
game of
rebounding.
basketball in El Salvador?
It's very big actually. I didn't even know it was that big of a basketball scene out there, but it's a very big basketball scene out there. They have different like levels of the leagues. So this was I think the one of the lower leagues in
Whoops.
El Salvador.
I just wanted to play a little bit of this clip as well, but overall your experience in El Salvador was positive?
For the most part, yes.
When I saw her
What
film,
was
I
your
thought it was
most
really good.
Go
So
ahead, Jay. Sorry. Go ahead,
no,
Jay.
no, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add that when I saw her film, I really thought it was amazing. Just from a female agent perspective, you know what I mean? Like she has some
Thank you
really good
so much.
shots. So yeah.
I'm going to ask Ericka and Sydney this question. Is there a story behind your number? Because sometimes when I talk to professional athletes in every sport, there's a story behind their number. Is there one with you, ladies?
I don't really have a set number. When I got to college, I kind of just stuck with the number that was available, and I made it my number. Growing up, my coach used to always preach like, because people used to love to get the lower numbers and be like, "Oh, I want number one, and I'm the best. I got number one." Woohoo! But he used to always say like, no matter what the number is, like the player makes the number. So I just went run with that, and I don't really have a set number. I just put the jersey on.
Growing up, I started out as 33, but then I just dropped the three. It was no like story behind it. I just always liked the number three. I think that was my favorite number. So I just stuck with it all the way up to college and I finished with that number.
I'm going to put you both on the spot here. When your basketball careers are done, hopefully not for a long time, would both of you be interested in coaching the game of basketball as well?
Oh, of course, I definitely would be interested.
Yes, I would agree to that. I would definitely be interested in getting into some coaching.
What are your thoughts on coaching today in women's basketball overall?
Um, I don't really have any thoughts on the coaching in women's basketball.
I
I'm
don't
trying
think
to
I have
think.
any. I think it's kind of like up and down. I think there's some really good coaches. I feel like some other coaches need a little bit more experiences um, coaching. But overall, I don't think I have any bad things to say about or any thoughts on it, really.
Jay?
Um, I think the coaches, and you were saying the coaches from today, from this era.
Yep.
I've been around so many different coaches, men and women. I've been coached by men and women too. Um, I think a lot of times certain coaches just want to win. They don't see the aspect of their players or even be personal with their players. You know, a lot of times as coaching, you got to wear so many hats for players, right? So most coaches just want the money. Other you have older coaches that care. So a lot of times that plays a part. Um, I think the biggest thing now in this generation, coaching, like when I coached, I cared about my players. You know, I took the time out, did things for them and stuff like that. This generation now, a lot of coaches sometimes it's just out for the money. They don't really too much care. And it's sad to say they just want to see the win and not see the person of the players. So, and they don't get personal with the players either. Like, to get to know who they are, and to meet them where they're at. So yeah.
All right.
I have another great question from ManDog2026 watching on YouTube. Wants to ask you, when you think about the path that was laid for young athletes like yourself, what changes do you hope to make that broaden the path for younger women that look to follow your path? Great question.
Um,
I just say hard work can get you anywhere. Effort can get you anywhere. Confidence can get you anywhere. You just have to believe in yourself. Um, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. But just do everything that you can with whatever path you're on in life in general, and be confident in it.
I want to
Eric?
piggyback off of that. Just be confident. Don't give up on yourself. That's the main thing I always preach to myself. No matter what you may be going through or how things may seem in the moment, just don't give up on yourself, your plan, your goals, or your dreams. Like, just keep going, no matter how it may seem. There's always light at the end of the tunnel.
I actually like that because I used to use that. I still use that to the method of my madness. Is always light at the end of the tunnel when things are rough. You got to see that light. You got to see that the opportunity is there. Like a lot of times, I always get this. I always get this question. It's like, how did you get where you are? And through God. I mean, if that's the number one thing, and Don Staley would say it best. Like if you don't know God, you should know. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to carry you from here on out. So,
Right.
Great question by ManDog, and he's been watching my shows a lot lately. And I have another gentleman. He's watching from California. He was on my show a couple months ago. Edward Hearn. He was in the military for 20 years, and now he is a professional motorcycle driver as well. So yeah, I want to say thank you to Edward for watching, and everybody watching our show right now. Thank you for the comments. Are you ladies still good for a couple more minutes? A couple more questions?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Open
Gonna
to
put
it.
you on the.
You still there? Or what happened?
Think it's just a Wi-Fi issue, so hopefully that's just a glitch. I'm back, and
Okay.
technology, you can't panic. That's the thing too. Whether you're an athlete or you're in media or any career, things don't always go smoothly, and you just can't panic. It's called handling adversity, and I'm sure you ladies have
Yeah.
faced adversity in certain games in your careers too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Mhm.
So, who would like to go first here? What are some of your most memorable basketball moments so far, high school and college, so far?
high school, I'd say when I first, uh, when I first found out that I could actually do this at the highest level. I think it was my junior year, and I had just started getting into the groove and actually like I feel like growing into my game and who I was as a player. And then college, I'd say winning my first NCAA championship.
What was that like being part of a
Nice.
championship team?
Congrats. Love it.
It was excellent actually. We went through a lot. Like we went through the worst of the worst with our coach. She's a great person, and she's always so hard on us. So we kind of we had like bump heads, like her and the whole team. We all were just bumping heads, but it was like a love hate relationship. And then we all just came together and we made it work, and we got the championship
And they can't take that away from you ever.
ever. And we did it again the next year.
Okay, I
Impressive,
see you.
because
Right. Very impressive.
Yeah,
it's hard.
I love
As
that.
you ladies know, it's hard to win one championship, but to win back to back, that is very impressive.
Yes, sir. Shout out to
Sydney?
NEC 23 for real.
Period. I would say, I don't know. I always been lucky to have a group of girls next to me growing up. All my teams, I've been very close with all my teammates. So just being able to make memories outside of basketball and making those connections have been probably my favorite part of basketball. Um, Basketball is a sport that gives you unexpected relationships. So being able to enjoy that, win games with the teammates that have my teammates have always been my favorite type of memories. Being able to celebrate, and even when you're down, like those are the people who are there for you. So I would say just having them, a great group of people around you always.
Hmm.
How important is it to have a strong support system? And Jay, you can chip in on here too. Just because a lot of athletes win or lose, but how hard is it sometimes to step away from the game?
Is that a
Yeah.
question for all of us?
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
You guys can go
Oh,
first. Go.
okay. You can go first, Cindy.
okay.
No, no,
So,
you got.
oh,
Yeah, you got
yeah,
the
you
floor.
got it. You got
Yeah,
it.
you got it.
Oh, okay, okay. Can you repeat the question again? I'm so sorry.
Just most professional athletes, obviously they want to win, but how difficult sometimes is it to step away? Like as soon as the game's over, to kind of not take the game home with you.
Mm. So for me, it's kind of difficult to be honest. I have a hard time letting go of a game. It takes me about 2 days, I'll say, for me to get over the whole game and my performance after me. Like I literally will watch film of the game those 2 days straight. Like as much free time as I have, I watch the games over and over just to see what I did and what mistakes I did or what my teammates did, what we did as a team, and what we need to work on, and just not like to I wouldn't say it to my coach, but I'll just talk to my teammates when on our free time, like we come together and we have study hall or we had like team gatherings or whatever. We'll just talk about the game and what we need to do better and adjust to and stuff like that. But it takes a lot for me to get over one game. I feel like I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, I would say for me, I think after the game it takes me a while, but I think going into the next day, I just learned from what mistakes I made or like what we made as a team and kind of just take it to the chin and just do better. So it doesn't take me as long, but I think just me always being like a positive person anyways, it kind of helps me just to get over that hump just a little bit quicker, and always having like a support system behind me as well, telling me it's okay. Like you have another game, you got another practice to get to, and yeah.
Jay, thoughts?
It usually when I played in high school and college, it probably took me probably a day or two. It depends on like we had a championship game, but my mindset just kind of going into it like I want to win. I want this W, and then just walking away from it. Just overall being a point guard, just overall just having a conversation with our team. What we did better, what we didn't do better, what we need to work on. Just critiquing overall. You know what I'm saying? What I did wrong, what I needed to work on as a point guard, as a leader, um, to make sure my team do their best on the next game. Um, and that's what true leaders do. They critique their own game, as a point guard, and they could not just critique their game, but critique the players, their teammates' game. Say, hey, this is what we need to work on. This is what we need to do, and bring it together as one. So yeah.
Edward Hearn is watching on Instagram Live. He is a friend of mine. He's been my guest. He has a question for you both, Sydney and Erica and Jay. What's the best advice a coach has ever given you in your career so far?
Um, I'm trying to think.
I would say the best advice I was given is not to give up. Continue to be strong and not to give up and continue to, roll with the punches as time goes on. I mean, because you'll have obstacles, you'll have downfalls, you'll have ups and downs, but you can't never give up on what you really want. So yeah, that's important.
I'd say for me it would be like she told me to like play my game, but within like the offense or within whatever we were doing as a team, because sometimes people get carried away and they want to play their game too much and get 1-on-1 and this that and third, and that could cause you to get in your head if you're not scoring. But you just gotta let stuff come to you sometimes, like playing within the offense or within the sets that you have as a team to get into your game, and that really helped me a lot.
I would say is a lot of people tell me this, but um, being a coach and having a personal relationship with your player, it always hits different. Just being able to be connected to your team. She would tell me just to always keep my chin up. You're gonna go through stuff. It's important that you keep it held high and think positive. So that was a major thing that stuck with me.
Now, ladies, I talked to some football players the other day, and they're telling me that their nicknames are missing in football. Do you guys ever had nicknames in basketball for either one of you? Nicknames, even you, Jay?
I
Jay,
never had. Oh,
I'm gonna
sorry.
say Jay is the only nickname I have.
Yeah, I never really had a nickname except for when I had two Sydneys on the team, so they would call me B. Um, yeah, that's about it.
I had a nickname in high school. My head coach used to call me Money because I used to shoot, and I used to shoot like this at first with two hands, but now I shoot with. I'm a lefty, but I shoot with my right. So, but yeah, they used to call me Money, but I don't have that nickname anymore.
Is there a particular player right now in the WNBA that you kind of try to emulate their styles? Is there a certain style that you like playing?
No, not really. Not really.
Yeah, I don't think I have a player in mind. I do have a player that I do watch a lot, which is Olivia Miles. But other than that, I don't. I haven't.
Um, I used to want to kind of emulate Stephen Curry a lot. I was called baby Stephen Curry like maybe 3 or 4 years ago when I played in California at California State Northridge. I was a shooter, so I was point guard and a shooter. So I was definitely called that for a little while in my life. So
To have you guys on here for 5 more minutes. Hopefully you guys can stay 5 more minutes. I want to get your perspective. Like, I was born in the 70s. They didn't have the 3-point line in the NBA until 1981. Do you find the game is now too reliant on 3-point shots? I know for the NBA, I think it's getting ridiculous. I know the guys are much better shooters now than they were back in the 80s and 90s, but do you find the game is just too dependent on 3-point shots now?
I don't think it's too dependent because I think everybody has like a different game to them. I do think a lot of people are taking advantage of the 3-point line. They use it quite often, but who wouldn't? I mean, 3 is always greater than 2, but I also feel like a lot of people, it just depends on their skill work. A lot of people like to get downhill, and that's just always been their game. A lot of people stay out on the perimeter and shoot threes because that's what they're best at. But no, I don't think that.
Jay?
I think I agree with Sydney a little bit. I think the threes are getting a little ridiculous in the NBA. Sometimes, to be honest with you, this last NBA game, I barely even watched because I knew the New York Knicks was going to take it. So people was always asking me, "Did you see the last game?" No, but I knew right then and there. At the end of the day, it was just more or less like, I prefer that they take more shots other than threes. So my whole thing is the game needs to change a little bit other than taking threes because, you need to see your particular other players do more than just shoot threes. So, yeah.
And I do have another video clip here, and I just want to play a couple minutes of it. So we'll just play the clip, and then we'll just wrap it up with a couple more quick questions as well. And I want to say thank you guys so much for coming on here tonight. And this is a little bit of a clip of Sydney against IU Indy against Northwestern. And we'll just play a couple minutes of this clip.
Inside, nothing for Foster. Another offensive board. Foster comes back out, and Jaguars push the pace. Inside, nothing for Foster. Another offensive board. Foster comes back out, and the Jaguars will reset. Inside, a nice feed, and Sidney Bolden.
Cardinals linking up there. And the play before that, IU Indy just took way too long to get into their action.
And now Sullivan left wide open. Sullivan a season ago averaged just over 10 points per game, but over 11 and a half in games she started as Casey Harder.
Because she missed the switch on that last drive by Sullivan.
Instead, into the game is Destiny Craig for the Jaguars.
And this is as close as it gets to a pure 5-guard lineup. Big size advantage for Northwestern.
Craig with the ball now. Gives out to Olivia Smith. Craig working inside. Shot clock running low once again for IU Indy. Smith puts it up and in. Puts it up and in. A crafty finish, and Jaguars retake the lead. Feed inside to Thomas. The help came in, but little too much, and Thomas gets an easy layup.
As long as IU Indy has this lineup, and Northwestern has to go to the post every single possession.
Foster on the near side working now. Kicks to the far side. Bolden for 3 off the top of the glass. Rebounded by Lash, and first total minutes.
Total reset. We lost a player like Katie Davidson, one of the best in the Horizon League from last year.
Lash gets to her though. Put Northwestern on top. First Wildcat lead of the game. Now it's Lash on defense, keeping those arms. Now it's Lash on defense, keeping those arms up without fouling, and forces.
Just thoughts on this clip, Sydney?
Yeah, playing Northwestern was really fun. Just us being a lower D1, and being able to play with them and stick with them was kind of fun and interesting. It was a hard loss in that game, but it was definitely fun being able to play at a higher level with them.
I think we lost Ericka, so I'm not sure if she had to go or not. But are you ladies okay? Just a couple more minutes, couple more quick questions before we wrap this up?
Sure.
Okay. Mandog 2026 has one more question for you guys from YouTube. He says this question is for Jay. When a young player with great potential comes to you for guidance, how do you try to develop the right kind of mindset and the focus they need to succeed? And that's a great question.
That's a really great question. One, I always try to meet them where they're at, and I always talk about what do they really want to do. Like if basketball is really what they're passionate about, their hobby, everything. I get to know them as a person, you know what I mean, and then do an assessment from that. Most players, especially young players and older players, sometimes they say one thing and they do another, but truth be so, if that's your passion and that's what you want to do, you got to give it your 100% all the way, just like I did. A lot of people always ask me, how did I move up to the ladder? Again, is by God's grace, and it's also about me just being determined, in that what I truly want to do. Like when you talked about that support system, like my parents my dad has been always supportive of what I, did in my sports world, because that's so important. He wasn't able to make every game of mine, but he made sure that he was there for the importance. And I love him so much because, like, now me being a sports agent, we go to a lot of games now. So he's loved the fact that I'm a sports agent, and we're going to the summer league. I'm taking him to his first Aces game, so he's excited, and that's what the support is. And I think being young, you definitely want to make sure that you have that support system, like I did. So yeah, it's all about meeting where they're at, and sometimes I'll guide young players, if they need me to be that mentor, that coach, whatever they need me to be, I'm there for them. So yeah.
By the way, I just heard from Ericka. She just sent me a text. She apologized. Her phone died and she's running to the car to charge it. So I told her, no worries. We can always have Ericka back on again.
Sure.
And she was on for an hour. So I told her not to worry about it. And as we wrap up the show, and I can speak for Mandog and myself, we appreciate you all and thank you all for being great, strong role models for young athletes coming up, and how satisfying is it seeing yourselves impact younger female athletes?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would love to.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for allowing us to come on and do your show. And if you want us to come on again, you let me know. You can reach out to them. As far as anyone that's out there that needs, looking for an agent, they can reach me through email or through LinkedIn or IG. So yeah.
Have you had any Canadian clients so far?
I have not actually. No, not at the moment. Nope. So I would love it. I'm open to it. So
Have you either one of you been to Canada yet so far?
I have not been to Canada.
Didn't
That
have you
is
ever
on my
had a
bucket
game?
list.
No.
That is on my bucket list. I've been overseas. Actually, it's funny. The last time we did a show, I went overseas in October, and then I just came back in February. So I was in Barcelona, Italy, and Portugal, Lisbon. So yeah, I have a few clients that's over there. So yeah.
The next time I have you on my show, Jay, I'm going to have to ask you more about those countries.
And what you like for sure. Most definitely. I love it.
Now,
I'm excited.
I'm going to put Sydney on the spot here, especially. What's some fun facts about Sydney?
I don't know. I'm kind of just to the side, but I would say I don't know. I don't really have any fun facts. I mean, I like to go skating.
Skating? Wow. That's all right. Okay, and Jay, a fun fact about yourself.
I would say I love to spend time swimming. I love being in the water other than basketball. Definitely, I love the water. So, yeah.
Fun fact about me, I was 5'9" and now I'm 5'5". That's
You
what
struggle a
happens when
little
you get
bit.
Yes, I did.
That's funny.
So
That's very funny.
now,
Yeah.
Sydney, I expect Sydney to put me on the spot here. Ask the host CDP a question. Do you have a question to put me on the hot seat?
I don't have a question. Maybe dogs or cats.
I like both, but if I had to choose, I would say dogs. But cats are good too. I do have a cat named Latte, who's a spoiled Siamese cat. But I like both, and I volunteer at a local humane society, so I walk dogs down there twice a week, and I also do some fundraising for the humane society as well. And I always tell people, adopt, don't shop.
Nice,
Favorite
nice.
vacation spot?
Favorite vacation spot? I would say anywhere like a football stadium, a hockey arena, baseball park, anywhere where there's sports, where I can see athletes and be around fans. For me, that's my form of vacation. But if I had to pick one, I would say New York City, the city that never sleeps.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very interesting.
And since I got Sydney here, Sydney, if you had to pick a walk-up song, you know how baseball players have walk-up music and football players do too. But when you did your pregame stuff, do you have a song that you like to get you cranked up before a game?
I don't have a certain song, maybe a certain artist, maybe Rod Wave.
And if there was an actress that could play Sydney Bolden, who would it be to play your life?
I don't think that anybody could put. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't have one. I don't know who could play me. Maybe Kevin Hart because I think I'm funny.
Have you thought about being a stand-up comedian?
Oh,
A stand-up
wow.
comedian?
I don't think I would go that far.
No? Well, if you ever decide, we can do a comedy act.
Okay, okay, sounds good.
Any plans for your own podcast show?
Uh, I don't know.
Okay. If you do, please let me know and I would subscribe and watch your show.
All right, thank you.
Sydney and Jay, final thoughts on our
Final
show
Just
today.
thank you
thoughts.
for, just thank you for having us.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
really, I
thank you
just,
for coming on. Thank you. It's the guests. It's the guests that make the show.
yeah, I definitely appreciate you having both of my, players on and my clients that I represent. And, um, to me, it's like, let's try to do it again. I'm excited to be on again and, kind of just, talk about the places I've been overseas. So, yeah, I'm with it.
And and finally, where can our where can our audience follow you both on social media, your website, and the best way of contacting you? And Sydney, when do you head overseas for basketball?
I'm still currently waiting for to sign with the team, but social media wise, I am Sydney, with three underscores with a capital B on Twitter, and then Sydney Simone on Instagram.
And Erica says, I apologize again. And I texted Erica back and I told her, thank you for giving us an hour of your time. And Erica has an open invite to come back on our show again, as long and as well as you say. And please continue success in your basketball career, Sydney. And hopefully one day you may be playing in the WNBA here in Toronto for the Toronto Temple. And And as for Jay, continued success as part of Jay Parker Sports Agency Management. And where can people find you again?
They can also reach me at J Parker Sports 23. That's my Instagram. Definitely that. And then I am on LinkedIn, JanaeaParker.com. Then they can go. I also am working on a new project called Afro M. So that's one of the new projects I am working on. Also, um, that's a link. So afrom.com type of thing. But that's more to discuss when we come back on. So that's a working new project that I'm working on as well. So also, being an agent. So yeah.
And I promise I won't shrink anymore the next time where I'm on.
Yeah, don't shrink anymore. Do us both a favor. Don't shrink anymore.
Now, but I am funny. Hey, by the way, I have a show tomorrow. If you guys don't know a lot about donkeys, I actually have a woman on from a donkey sanctuary here in Canada. So I'm plugging that show, the Small Talk podcast tomorrow. 3 shows in total, and I love what I'm doing. And it's to get guests like you guys that make a great show. And Jay Hope person is.
Yeah.
Last couple weeks, I've been meeting some of my guests virtual, and it's just so I love it in person as well.
Awesome. Yeah. But I just again I thank you for having us
All
on the
right.
show.
Well,
And,
go ahead.
Yeah. I was saying I thank you for having us again on the show. And yeah, we're looking forward to coming back.
Okay, yeah, we're just wrapping up, but Jay and Sydney and Ericka too, who's watching this, give me a little bit of time tonight, and I will send you the video, the audio, and then I will shrink the video into reels and clips because everybody's attention spans is shrinking these days, like me.
Right. I appreciate you, Chris.
Well, hey, well, thank you so much. And hey, I also now learned how to do shows on short notice, and I was definitely happy and excited to have you on and to have Sydney and Ericka on both. And please tell Ericka and Sydney to keep in touch with me as well. I would like to see how they're doing with their careers, and hopefully one day, maybe in a year from now, they'll be in the WNBA as well.
Yeah, most definitely. God's willing, anything can happen. Most definitely that.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. And I also want to say thank you to Man Dog 2026, Edward Hearn, and everyone watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Instagram for your comments. Great questions. And also to our audience on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, wherever podcasts are available. This is on like 21, 22 different platforms. So thank you to the audience for watching and listening to the show. And thank you to Jay, Sydney, and Ericka for coming on here. And we'll be in touch very soon. And I look forward to having you all back on again at some point this year.
Thank you, Chris. Enjoy the rest of your day. Definitely don't shrink no more.
Just don't step on me. Don't step on me.
I got you. So enjoy the rest of your evening, okay?
I'll be your lucky charm. Thank
you. Definitely.
And Sydney, thank you so much for coming on here too, and continue success in your basketball career. All right.
Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you so much, Jay and Sydney and Ericka. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Perfect. Bye-bye now.
Bye. All right, everybody. That concludes season 14, episode 13, overall 728 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at barrycullen.com. I have another announcement to make. The next Small Talk podcast, Season 4, Episode 6, with co-hosts Chris Pame, Marlene Sharp, is going to be this Friday, June 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 on the West Coast, with special guest Grace Saint, a manager with the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada. So if you've always been fascinated or don't know much about donkeys can actually live up to 40 years, which I just found out. Please check out the Small Talk podcast tomorrow, episode 6 with Marlene Sharp and myself, as we have Grace Saint on from the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada, which is located in Puslinch, Ontario, which is about 20 minutes from Guelph. That show will be on at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific on all these same platforms. And the next Argo Bounce podcast show with Nick Small and myself is going to be Saturday, June 27th at 10 a.m. as Nick and I will break down the Argos-Saskatchewan game, which takes place Friday night at 9 o'clock. Argos, Saskatchewan, 9 o'clock on TSN or TSN 1050 with Mike Hogan and Ben Grant. And hopefully me and Nick will be able to talk about an Argo win over Saskatchewan. And we're also going to break down their win against Ottawa as well. And I have a couple more Toronto Argonaut player interviews as well. I was at Argos practice yesterday, and I got a couple more interviews and some good content with Jake Herslow as well. By the way, everyone, I am doing a Yards for Paul fundraiser in July. I'm going to run the 40-yard dash at Alumni Stadium in under 13 seconds, and I'm going to be taking some donations for the Cambridge Humane Society. This is a small fundraiser on my part, and if you can contribute $5 or a little bit more than $5, I am going to run the 40-yard dash and hopefully under 13 seconds, and hope to raise a little money for the Cambridge District Humane Society. And their website is at cambridgehumanesociety.org. Excuse me, cambridgehumanesociety.org. And if you're looking to adopt a pet, all the pets and profiles are on cambridgehumanesociety.org. Michelle and their staff do a great job there. Excuse me there, I just lost my voice. The Cambridge District Humane Society is located at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. And I'm looking forward to doing this 40-yard dash, hopefully then under 13 seconds. The date will be announced. It will be in the month of July, and it will be at Alumni Stadium at the University of Guelph. So if you're interested, if you can donate $5 or $10 or whatever you have, the money will go to the Cambridge District Humane Society. So it's called Yards for Paul's fundraiser with Chris Palme, and you'll see it all on my social media platforms as well. And again, thank you to Jay Parker, Sydney Bolden, and Ericka Pratt for coming on here tonight as well. And again, Small Talk Podcast Friday at 8 with Marlene Sharp and myself. The Argo Bounce Podcast Show this Saturday, June 27th, between Nick and myself at 10 a.m. And the next Live with CDP Sports Entertainment Talk Show will take place on Tuesday, June 30th at 5 p.m. with my special guest, Sim Shilgill, a psychotherapist as well. So I have a lot more guests, a lot more shows coming on as well. Again, I want to say thank you to everyone watching this show live stream and on our audio platforms, and to Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, the regional dealership. Again, they're located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph, Ottawa. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of EVs, electric vehicles, and Cadillac products as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 or email them at info@barrycullen.com. I hope everybody has a great evening, and we'll see you back here Friday night at 8 p.m. for the Small Talk Podcast with Marlene Sharp, Chris Palme, and our special guest from the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada, Grace Saint. Have a good night, everybody.